Yeah, and then I'll say like what
we're
this.
going to be talking
Cynthia,
about.
can you clap really loud real quick? One more time. Thanks.
Cough loud. Hello everyone and welcome to Life as We Know It. In today's section we'll be talking about politics, violence in campuses, and entertainment section. So in these discussions, like I mentioned before, wait no, I don't like that.
That was really good though.
No.
Like he's done so many things that people like you said, look down on him. But it's kind of a matter of fact of like there needs to be something done because it's not the first time there's something about him that's not all right. Like,
Yeah.
So
all in all, we don't think like he's gonna be impeached. What about like the 2010? So if he does get impeached,
the next election is like right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's like, is it really gonna make a difference?
Yeah.
so let's say he doesn't get impeached. 2020 elections. Like, what do we think? Is he? Does he? I mean, he's gonna be obviously he's still running for the Republican Party. Yeah, and then we don't have a decided for the Democratic Party yet. So do we think whether it be Andrew Yang, Joe Biden, anyone else? What do we think?
That's a tough one.
I honestly think that it might be Trump again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know as crazy as it sounds, I just honestly think that it might
Yeah,
be
I
Trump
think
again.
personally, yeah, as well. I think he has a pretty good chance, even though all this stuff has happened, that people still, based on his policies, even though he's like a really bad speaker, kind of unlikable, that his policies, with the exception of a couple, do seem to be working for some people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see what happens. Okay, moving on to our next section, violence.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to talk about, recently as I was doing some research, there has been some the fraternities, in recruiting season and rush season and hazing season, there's been certain deaths that have taken place in the last year. There has been certain deaths that have taken place because of the hazing, because of rush. Even 2 years ago, the death of Tim Piazza. So I just feel like, what are some ways that we can maybe prevent violence on campus? Because even there's been, I was reading the newspaper the other day for a university, and they were speaking about how even rapes had been happening on campus, and just certain things that have been happening on campus. And I think sometimes we come into into school and we have to feel we have to be really aware of our surroundings, and we might feel like we're not protected, you know, and I just want to know what your opinion is on it. Like, you know, what do you guys think that we should do in order to like us like take action and be able to prevent these things?
Maybe perhaps like in returns, because a lot of these have happened in like fraternities and sororities in the Greek life. Maybe if each university created stricter guidelines within their fraternities as to what they can and cannot do, because a lot of this, like as you mentioned, happened like during hazing with, you know, alcohol, underage drinking, because I think, yeah, a lot of these students who have died have been underage. So, I mean, obviously we can't regulate everything. We, you know, there can't always be someone present at every party, you know, making sure, you know, underage people aren't drinking. But perhaps like stricter guidelines that, I don't know how many people can be like at a house at the same time in a fraternity house, or like things like that, or I don't know, also
And
people.
do you think that maybe, you know, I know that fraternities and sororities are like to find like, you know, like sisterhood, like brotherhood. But do you think that maybe like in the near future, it might even be healthy to kind of put things to an end? Just because there's just been so many like deaths that have happened and so many families that have been affected by it that are still mourning, you know. I was actually watching like an interview with one of the students' parents and how everyone else gets to live their life and they keep going forward, but then they have to sit down and like at their son's or their daughter's casket and just kind of like mourn their death, you know. And it's kind of like, you know what I'm talking about.
Especially such at a young age too. Like they have their whole life ahead of them.
Yeah. So at such a young age, do you think that maybe it would even be healthy to like put an end to these fraternities and sororities in the near future, just because of the people that have been affected by it?
I feel like maybe there could, instead of having fraternities, like, because fraternities, all you ever really think about are like the parties.
The parties, yeah.
So like maybe just have like an organization that doesn't involve any parties, but people can still like get together and like have that like sisterhood or brotherhood that you've been talking about. I think that would be a good idea instead of having all those parties, because in reality those parties are what's affecting the frat life.
So on that note, as well, because it's not really like, it's no longer a brotherhood, especially like if you have like a huge fraternity with like 200, 300 students, then you kind of lose that family feeling. So I don't know, maybe like a cap on how many people can join, or even an age limit, maybe like, especially since it's all party, maybe like, you know, 18 and up, or even 21 and up, though that might affect some younger students who join, you know, they can't join until like maybe their sophomore or junior year.
At the end of the day, it'll probably like benefit them. So.
And I think that would even be healthy, because I feel like they would be mature enough to know how to control themselves a little more versus somebody that just came out of high school.
It's cool, that doesn't have the maturity yet.
And I just feel like maybe like what you were saying, like regulating things, you know, like maybe, you know, they can continue doing what they like to do, but maybe like when it comes to like rushing into like the sororities or fraternities, like maybe like taking it easy, you know, on those new
members.
Well, our next topic is entertainment, and recently actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman have been accused of bribing their children's way into college. So what do you guys think about that, bribing your child's way into college?
I think that's crazy, especially since they kind of don't need to, especially since their parents are celebrities and the children are celebrities in their own right. I feel like they would have probably gotten in anyways. And I think, it's also very, you know, different because they have the means to be able to bribe and stuff. And so, that's really unfair for other students who, you know, spots are limited and who like, you know, Lori Loughlin, you know, or some other ones faked and photoshopped pictures of them on the rowing team, which people who are actually on the rowing team. So now people like when colleges are going through like, you know, their administration and they're going through, you know, applications and they see someone on the rowing team, I was like, oh, are they really on the rowing team, or is this just going to be like before when people faked it? And so like I think that ruins other people's chances as well, and it's very unfair that they had the means, they had the money to be able to do that while other people didn't, and obviously it's wrong, you know.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with everything that Victoria said. I think it's really unfair for the students that want to go into these universities and they can't because somebody bribed the university with money. You know, I think it's just it's unethical. You know, I think that it's just you know, it's unfair for the students that have worked hard, that have truly studied. You know, and I feel like, you know, definitely we should also be able to take action against that. You know, as students, like we should be able to take, action against those things, because then we miss out on these opportunities that could have been given to us because of people doing, I guess their dirty work, underneath the table.
Yeah, I see both of you make a very good point, and like as a result of all that stuff, like most of the students, like the children have been kicked out of the universities and they've been kicked out of the programs and everything. So the parents have also like been charged, obviously, and Felicity Huffman, actually, she accepted a plea deal and she served 2 weeks in prison, and she only has to serve 250 community hours. And then Lori Loughlin, she has not accepted anything, so as a result, she's getting more and more charges added to her sentence. So if she is convicted of a crime, she will face a lot more years in prison. So
I think that's crazy. Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, and also like on that note, I feel also like when I was reading articles about that as well, they mentioned that I don't want to like say names, but some of like the children who were bribed, they didn't even want to go to college in the first place, and it was just the parents were like, oh, you have to go to college, and they didn't want them to go to college, and then when they did get accepted at the first time, like they didn't even attend classes, and they were just like there to party. So it's basically a big waste of, $1 million, thousands of dollars that their parents did.
Look at the problems they're facing now. So
was it really worth it?
And I just feel also like this happens like a lot, like so much,
and people don't really even like realize it.
And people don't really like talk about it, and it's everything serves a purpose. So if this ended up coming to light, it's because it's to kind of even open our eyes as millennials, like to actually take action, because this happens all the time. This happens all the times, so so I think we should take action.
All right, that's today's episode on Life as We Know It.
Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to check us out on our social media platforms, and if you guys would like to see the full articles on all the topics we discussed, please check out our website for those.
We'll see you next week. Tune in.